Here's how to find a trusted fractional CMO, and most importantly, how to avoid the ones that you don't want to work with. Trusting the wrong person with your marketing can cost you a lot more than just money, and here's how you're going to avoid that. Here's why trust is the real issue when hiring a fractional CMO. Most businesses, when they're hiring a key employee like this, their biggest concern is, I'm going to waste money on this person and I'm not going to get the right result. And of course that's true. But the reality can actually be much more dangerous than that. If you hire somebody that is not the right fit, that you can't trust the strategy with, not only do you pay them and lose the money, but you lose a tremendous amount of time. And in that time, it is very likely that your competitors, and there's always competitors, are going to go past you, and it's going to be difficult to create the momentum to get back in front of them. And what that basically means is your competitors are going to eat your lunch. So it's really important that when you make this hire, that you trust the person and you trust the strategy, so you're not wasting money and losing time. And the third part of this is really cultural. When you hire a fractional CMO, often they're interacting with different people inside of your organization. Maybe it's your operations manager, maybe it's your marketing director, maybe it's your campaign managers. And when you hire the wrong one, you as the owner lose trust from your team. So it actually becomes a trickle-down effect where maybe they no longer believe in your leadership, and then maybe they actually start looking elsewhere for their next place to work. So this trickle-down effect can actually cause a tremendous amount of damage in your business. Here's why it's really easy to get this hire wrong. You have to understand the core value of a fractional CMO to understand it. A CMO knows how to market. That's why you're hiring them, which means they know how to sell themselves and their services. So they're really good, oftentimes, at painting pictures that are beyond their experience and their skill level. And they understand communication really well, because communication is the fundamental piece to marketing. So when you actually start interacting with them and interviewing them in the beginning, they can often sound amazing when the reality is that the results don't quite match the dog and pony show. How you actually overcome that is just by asking for two fundamental things. Can they show you proof within the last 5 years of you having the result that they're talking about in your industry? That could be case studies, that could be referrals, that could be testimonials. Because if they don't have the result in your industry, then they're guessing to a degree. Sure, there's lots of strategies in marketing that work well across multiple industries, but the reality is that if you have somebody that's an ace specifically in your industry, then they're going to be able to increase your revenue very, very quickly without having to do a lot of testing. And obviously, if they can't show you case studies or referrals or testimonials, then it needs to be a major red flag for you, because either they've never done it or they've never done it well enough for somebody to actually say something nice about them. So what do you want to look for? Do you want to look for experience, or do you want to look for knowledge? Well, the short answer is you want both. And let me explain. You want somebody that has experience specifically in your industry and the channels, the specific channels that you're marketing on today. And when I say channels, maybe it's radio, maybe it's television, maybe it's digital, maybe it's print, but they have to have experience in those elements very, very recently, because that industry changes very, very fast. And I'll give you a prime example. We have a client that we work with. I am a fractional CMO for his company, and he has a media buyer that does a pretty good job. But 2 weeks ago, he came to me and he said, our lead flow has completely dropped off a cliff. In fact, the leads are down, the quality of the leads are down, and the show rate to our sales team is down by almost half. We don't know what happened. And I said, well, let me open up your account and let's have a look together. And what I saw inside of his account was very obvious to me, and it was very disturbing for him, which is that the algorithm has had an update in the last couple of months, and his media buyer hadn't adapted the strategy to the new algorithm update. So as a result of that, he was effectively doing things completely the opposite of what you need to be doing on that channel today, and his results had gone into the tank. So I walked him through it and I said, this is how things have changed. This is what you need to do today. I want you to take half your budget, I want you to put it in my way, leave half the budget in his way, and let's do a side-by-side test for 2 weeks. Well, I met with him 2 days ago, and he said, not only has the lead quality dramatically increased, our show rate has gone up 300%, and my cost to acquire those appointments, your way was $220 per appointment, his way was $1,250 per appointment. So that's why you need to have both experience and knowledge of what's working right now today, because, for example, if somebody couldn't see multiple accounts like I can on any given day, they wouldn't have known how to diagnose that problem, and quite frankly, he probably would have been out of business in the next 3 months. So how do you know if you've hired the right person? Well, here's what a good fit feels like. First off, before you even hired them, they did an audit of your business, and they pointed out some very obvious ways that you could improve quickly. That's stage number one. If somebody can do that, you know they're sharp, they know your industry, and they're on their game. 2, they come into your business and they don't disrupt what everybody's doing. They just make 3 or 4 subtle changes which instantly increase your conversions and your revenue. Because if somebody has the experience, they're gonna be able to do that relatively quickly. And number 3, once those things are done, if they can map out a concrete plan for the next 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and that gives you a bunch of aha moments where you said, oh, I thought we should be doing that, or I had no idea you could do that, or I'm so excited about that, then that means they've solved the immediate, but they've also solved for the future. That's when you know it's the right fit. If you want to see how this works inside a real business, I made another video for you. It's the 5 things you must know before you actually hire a fractional CMO. You should see the link somewhere underneath. Go ahead and click it to watch it now.